Right, ChatGPT is fucking everywhere. It's everywhere, man.
Yeah. Is that how we're starting?
This is how this episode's starting. I think we just go straight in with...
Yeah, you can't really get away from it. I think every time I open my LinkedIn these days, all I see is just, is ChatGPT this? Is ChatGPT that? I mean, is it going to replace recruiters? You know, it's like...
I saw something where it took 5 days to get up to 1 million users.
Yeah.
And so it's here to stay.
Oh, yeah.
It's an absolutely brilliant tool.
Yeah.
It's not going to replace recruiters, and we'll go through as to why shortly. But here's our take on what you should be doing with ChatGPT to help you get more out of your role. Welcome to Viral Recruiters, where we help recruiters, directors, owners, and marketers with their marketing. Everything that we talk about should bring in more candidates, more clients, more consultants, and everything that a recruitment agency needs. I'm Rich Gibbard, founder of Recbound. Hope you enjoy the show. So the problem with ChatGPT that you've got at the minute is that I think people are expecting it to do a lot of heavy lifting when it comes to writing and research.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you've not used it, which I'm guessing you have, but if you've not used it, so you sign up, you type it a question, it spits out an answer, and the answer is normally very good. Given what it knows up to the end of 2021, I think it is. Yeah. Normally it's very good at spitting back an answer. However, the problem is, there's two problems. Number one, is it going to take my job?
Yeah.
And we'll cover that one off shortly. And number two is, how can I use it to be better at my job? So is it going to take my job? What do you think?
No. I mean, obviously, that's something that's been asked across all kinds of industries. You know, you've got AI art as well, but AI is only as good as what it's trained on, and it'll always be derivative. So without human recruiters, say, in this instance, already laying the groundwork for what it's building off, all it will ever be able to do going forward is an impression of the stuff that came before it, which was already done by human recruiters. So it's not going to take your job necessarily, because it's only as good as what you give it. And obviously ChatGPT is a very powerful tool, but like I say, if the prompt is too vague, it's going to chat shit, basically. It's not going to give you anything of substance back. So
what should you be prompting then?
You should give it... I think I tend to use ChatGPT here at Recbound as
other companies are available.
Other companies are available, yeah, but as a tool to flesh out stuff that I maybe don't have a 100% firm grasp on, which using that prompt, it can then kind of give me some ideas of what I need to look into to understand what I'm trying to write about better, because it will dredge up some stuff from the internet for you and start you down that path. And I think ChatGPT is a fantastic first step for a lot of things, as long as it's not your last step. If you know what I mean, you shouldn't just say, "Oh, generate this for me," and then you just post it immediately. I think it should be, "Oh, that's a good idea, but I need to maybe flesh it out a bit more myself and do a bit more original research."
So it's not going to take over our role. I'll tell you why it won't take over our roles. Like in recruitment, when they introduced the emails, and it felt that emails were going to take a load of heavy lifting away from the recruitment industry. Well, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
That was even before my time. The fax, even post, carrier pigeons, etc. So 5-6 years ago-ish, Google for Jobs came in, and that was to replace recruitment agencies as well. And guess what? It hasn't. It's just another tool. So yeah, it's all ChatGPT is a tool to help you be better at your job, as opposed to come after your job.
Yeah, no.
Same with LinkedIn.
It should always be used in conjunction with everything else you already have. It shouldn't be like the be-all, end-all. It's just another useful thing to have in your toolbox of recruiter tools.
Yeah, people want to deal with people. No matter how far down the robotic world and automation world you go, people will always want to deal with people. I mean, but what could you use ChatGPT for? If you're a recruiter, are there some things that you think that it could be very, very beneficial for?
Yeah, I think it's just like through the lens of how we use social media. If you are a recruiter just getting into the world of posting on LinkedIn and trying to build your own online brand, things like that, and you may be struggling for things to post, you can literally jump on and say, "Oh, write 5 post outlines for a recruiter in XYZ industries, and it'll just give you some ideas. And if any of those resonate with you, like I said earlier, you can then go down that path independently and start thinking, how can I actually apply that to what I do? So it's good for I think it's a good jumping off point for starting to build an online presence more, because it does allow you to generate just a frankly obscene amount of content really quickly.
Yeah.
So if
you can tell something as you're scrolling through, you can tell if it's been written by somebody or been written by ChatGPT. You just tell, it just has that tone.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's written by a machine, so it's going to sound like it.
Yeah.
Which is why you should always go through and add your own flair to it, because I think people can tell when it's not being written by a human. And I think people will gravitate away from that if they feel like that's what's constantly coming out of your feed.
Yeah, absolutely. So number 1, it helps with coming up with ideas for social media posts.
Yeah.
Number 2, I would say, is that if your written skills aren't too hot, and quite often in sales, in recruitment, people's verbal skills are much better than their written skills.
Yeah.
A very useful tool that it has is tidying up grammar. It is tidying up things that make things into easier to read and what you'd expect.
Yeah.
I don't mean to use this as a negative, but some people can get very conscious about how they come across when they're typing and writing. So it's a really useful way for, like you said before, if you wanted to write a cold email, give it the prompt that you want to say from your cold email, and it'll get it 80 to 90% of the way there.
Yeah. And then you can sort of inject your own character into it, I think, at that point.
There's another good thing. So cold emails and follow-up emails is one thing. Writing summaries for candidates. So candidates that you're pimping out. If you've not listened to the episode about speccing candidates out, then you absolutely should.
Plug.
But plug, that's not the way forward with this episode. Might have to take that one out.
That's Viral Recruiters After Dark, I think.
Yeah, invite only. So, listen to that episode, because what that's talking about is essentially why you should take your candidates out to market. And if you are, some companies, what they'll write is bullet points to sell their candidates, or a blurb that goes onto a cover sheet or something like that. Again, it's just an incredibly good writing tool that does a lot of it doesn't finish it off, but it does a lot of the heavy lifting for you.
And equally, if you have a problem, which I have quite often, is if you're a bit of a waffler with how you write, you can tell it to condense what you've written as well. I'm quite guilty of, before I do revisions, having very verbose passages in what I've written. And quite often it's useful just to have a tool that you drop that paragraph in and go, oh, shorten this for me, it's too long. And it'll just knock it down a little bit. I
think you've come on to another business idea. If there is a verbal equivalent of ChatGPT, so you can just talk into it and it just condenses that back.
Yeah.
Even this episode is going to be about 10 minutes long. You can cut out the waffle from this. Whew, you'll be a millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So that's our take on ChatGPT. I think it's not coming after your job, but the benefits are there to see when it comes to creating content ideas, helping you with your sales emails, whether it's for candidates or clients, and absolutely doing a lot of heavy lifting for you. But it all comes down to, are you able to put decent prompts into it? It's like anything. The more you put it in, the more you get out. So hope you enjoyed the episode. Catch up with the other episodes, especially that specking out email one that I mentioned. Make sure you do listen to that one as well. Subscribe. And if you are looking for help with your marketing, please get in touch.